What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of After Credits. We are here reviewing the new film by Steven Soderbergh, whatever. Logan Lucky. It's not about superheroes, it's about bank heists. It's got Channing Tatum, Adam Driver, Daniel Craig, Katie Holmes, Catherine Waterston, Riley, whatever. So what did you think about this movie, Daniel?
I love it. From beginning to end, I was completely captivated, and only till maybe the last 20 minutes would be a point where I'm like, okay, I have like a problem with this movie, but the entirety of it is just so well done. It's a simple premise. Guys down on their luck want to steal money, and they do it
good
at NASCAR. Yeah, it's masterminds, but just done well. If My Name is Earl made a movie, this would be the movie, and it'd be fantastic.
It's like the perfect blue-collar, star-studded movie. This is one of my favorite movies of the summer.
Yeah, this is a great movie.
This movie is so much goddamn fun, and it's a movie that relies on the stars of the movie, but it relies on them because the fact that there's all these great actors just creating these amazing characters. I could just be with these characters all day. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, Channing Tatum is a guy that he's really just, he keeps getting better and better.
You remember when you first saw him in something like Dear John or like The Fucking Vow?
I didn't see that either.
21 Jump Street.
See,
well,
that's
21 Jump Street is when you thought,
a great
oh, this guy
movie.
can be
that was
funny.
a great movie.
And then Foxcatcher, you look at him and you're like, whoa, this guy can be dramatic.
Yeah.
And with every role, he just continues to impress me.
Similar to what I said in the Wind River review, this is not my favorite movie Channing Tatum is in. That's probably either Foxcatcher or 21 Jump Street, but this is my favorite performance he's ever given. The relationship between him and his daughter was, I think, some of the strongest part of the entire movie.
Yeah. I thought so too. This is a movie that's very much a silly bank heist movie, but it's also got some emotional prowess to it. Think about this too, how many Oscar-baity movies basically brag about their ensemble cast, but Soderbergh uses it well, and never does any one person in this cast really go overboard with what they're doing.
Yeah, they all fit together, and you just get some actors in roles that you wouldn't expect. Like, Seth MacFarlane is so funny in this movie as just this British douchebag who's like sponsoring.
It's like Seth MacFarlane's version of Russell Brand, and it's fucking hilarious.
That's a great...
Awesome.
And then Daniel Craig needs an Academy Award.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Supporting actor, because he steals the show.
Daniel Craig should get an Oscar for this movie. Like, I've seen Daniel Craig in a few other things outside of Bond. Like, I saw him in Munich, I saw him in Layer Cake. But
a Kid in King Arthur's Court.
This movie proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that Daniel Craig is a great actor. Because he is the fucking bomb in this movie. He is so goddamn funny.
And it's not like when you look at him, you see Daniel Craig. You don't see James Bond at all. You see this crazy redneck,
he does a
lunatic criminal, and he's completely invested in it. Let's give props to, I'm gonna say, to the writer of this movie, Rebecca Blunt.
Rebecca Blunt, which may or may not be Steven Soderbergh.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off, man. You complain so much about, like, oh, we need diversity in movies, and you sit there like, this is a fantastic screenplay. I would nominate it for an Academy Award.
It's a very
I love the
movie.
fuck out of how this movie develops. I love the dialogue. I love all the themes they managed to bring together. I love the social commentary. Basically just looking at Southern America through this looking glass. This movie does for West Virginia what Fargo did to Minnesota.
Yeah.
And for like 2 hours after I watched it, I wanted to move to West Virginia, and then I got some fucking sense in my head.
Heist-wise, like, it's not over the top. They do it very well.
Yeah.
Like most heist movies, there's a problem that's like way over the top. This movie has like a few like in-movie problems, but it's nothing like super major.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of goofy shit to it, but there's so many good plans that end up paying off at the end of it that I'm never bothered by it. There was a point where I stopped wondering how technically brilliant this movie was, and I just started enjoying it.
I'm gonna give a shout out to this guy, Jack Quaid. The guy who plays one of Daniel Craig's brothers. He's this guy who's a supposed computer whiz. I know everything there is to know about computers. All the Twitters. I know them.
I thought Channing Tatum's daughter, the actress who played that, she was great too.
Yeah, like there's a scene, without getting into spoilers, but there's a scene at the end with her
Oh yeah.
It's a really great.
It's
a
incredibly
weirdly
touching.
it's a really sincere moment in a movie that's so funny. I know a lot of people are saying because it's Steven Soderbergh directing it that this is just Ocean's 11 again. It's a completely different movie. Like, it reminded me a lot of Hell or High Water. It reminded me of some of his other films, maybe like The Informant, sort of that subtle social commentary. You can appreciate it from a technical aspect, but this movie's just so goddamn entertaining and so funny. Like, we were just all like laughing our asses off watching just the insanity of this movie. And for a 2-hour movie, I felt like it went by pretty fast.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't getting bored.
I was getting a little bit bored near the end.
I thought that here's
The
thing.
end was slow.
The end was slow.
I disagree. I think the beginning was slow to me. And
The beginning kicked off.
I like the beginning because you get to meet all these great characters.
Yeah.
You get to see them bounce off each other. But by the end, you kind of know where this movie's gonna go.
yeah.
And you're just kind of waiting for the ultimate reveal
Yeah.
of what Channing Tatum's up to. But we're gonna go into that into spoiler alert. So if you don't want to know any more specifics about this movie and rather our final thoughts and scores out of 6 stars, just scroll to the time code right here. Otherwise, let's get on with this shit.
I like how they talked about it being like Ocean's 7-Eleven, and I was like, nice.
Yeah,
And
that
the
was
entire audience is just like,
it was a great
It
reference.
was a good audience. too.
There's just some great references. Like, there's the whole part where they're
The
referencing
Game of Thrones
Yeah.
reference was my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, aside from the part where they're mixing the explosive fluid,
That was my
and they're
favorite
like,
scene.
run.
Like,
I like parts like that. They repeated that kind of joke throughout the movie whenever Daniel Craig and Adam Driver are going down and he's like, look, I need to tell you something. Don't hesitate. Roll. And so Adam Driver pushes Daniel Craig down the trash chute and he's just sitting there. He goes, wait a second.
Roll.
Roll. And he rolls and then Adam Driver's about to slam on top of his
Or
fucking
whenever
head.
the gummy bear bomb flies through the chute and hits Adam Driver right in the chest, he's just standing like don't breathe, and he's like, I'm not breathing. Whenever they put it in like some vacuum and his arm gets sucked through the tube.
Why don't they just put the machine back?
Yeah,
in
why
the
did they put
balloon
on blow to blow
and
back
blow,
out?
to blow back
I was
the
thinking
arm?
They're probably
but-
they're not smart enough to think.
They're not smart enough, but these are guys that you just have so much fun watching. It's like watching the Three Stooges.
Yeah, right.
When Channing Tatum is the mastermind in your movie, you know there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Except
Channing
with that
Tatum
one
with his
part
stupid
when
beard.
Daniel Craig just fucking explains to them how the gummy bear bomb
Oh my
works.
God, he's writing
He's
with the
writing
chalk
on the wall.
He's writing the
love that
chemical
scene.
equation of the chalk on the board.
Oh, it's-
and it's so goddamn
He's-
funny.
They literally take the time from the heist to write it on the wall, and then Channing Tatum has to wipe it off the wall.
There's just stuff that's set up initially in the movie, and you're like, how does, like, I'm entertained by this, but I don't know how it's all gonna fit together. But by the end of the movie, it all wraps up perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
It does, and I really like that about a heist movie, that there are some moments where I would stop, and I think, Jesus Christ!
So my dog just jumped off the bed and like face
He just
planted.
Keep in
wanted-
mind, his dog is maybe the size of, like, a tiny cat.
Yeah.
Jesus
A tiny
Christ.
cat or a pretty big rabbit.
Channing Tatum's ex-wife
Yeah.
is Katie Holmes,
Yeah.
and she's married to this new dude. And so Riley Keough, who's Channing Tatum's
Yeah,
sister,
it is the guy from the
It is.
office.
It's the
The
Yes.
guy who's hitting on
Pam's old fiance.
Pam. Yeah.
yeah. Channing Tatum's sister is talking shit to the guy from The Office because he ends up driving automatic cars instead of
Yeah.
sticks. And so her entire plan turns out to be that the one time he brings a stick with a
Yeah.
great fucking engine, she decides to hotwire it. And I'm so,
and
I'm-
just takes it.
and it's great because whenever you see her open up the trunk, I start giggling because I kind of figured out that she was going to steal the car.
Mm-hmm.
But those moments were few and far between, and those moments were still fucking amazing just because you saw how the heist was slowly coming together. I
Yeah.
love watching a Rube Goldberg machine.
Mhm.
I love playing Mousetrap.
Yeah.
And so this movie's kind of like that.
I loved it because I had so much faith in this movie and I had so much faith in the characters and the story that, like, I was willing to just go with it and just be like, all right, let's just see what happens next.
Mhm.
And, like, sometimes when you have that much commitment in a movie, you end up being disappointed. But to me, like, everything just paid off by the end of the movie. Catherine Waterston shows up.
And
She has a great
yeah.
scene.
Catherine
and then
Waterston's
she
really
disappears.
good.
She disappears, and then they completely tie up her story by the
Yeah.
end of the movie. And I thought that worked really well.
Soderbergh and Rebecca Blunt, because these characters have to be written extraordinarily well, but
Yeah.
Soderbergh knows the right people to cast for these roles
Yeah.
to get a good point in. This is the best thing I've seen Catherine Waterston in since Inherent Vice.
The only performance that I would think was like, was Hilary Swank. I thought was kind of underused. Like like that whole aspect of the movie. Like to me, like
that's fine because it's Hilary Swank shows up in the last 20 minutes of this movie as the FBI agent investigating the case, and the character's not written the best in the world.
Yeah.
Because she's just trying to catch these guys, but Hilary Swank throws in this weird like evil kind of excited glee about it.
Yeah.
Like she knows exactly what happens somehow.
Yeah.
Exactly. She knows exactly what's going on, but she just kind of wants to toy around and really figure it out. To where at the very end, did she like buy a fake prosthetic arm just so she could get in good with Adam Driver's character?
I think that was Channing Tatum bought it for him.
Channing Tatum bought him the new
Oh, but you think that
arm,
she has,
but you think that she has her own prosthetic
or
arm.
she has the original one that she found from
No,
the
she
crime
doesn't
scene.
have the
No,
original
Channing
one.
Tatum found it.
Oh, okay.
Channing Tatum has it because the ending shot of the movie is the original fake arm holding a beard.
Did she have a prosthetic arm?
She did. She had a
I didn't
plastic
notice
arm, and
it.
I'm not sure if that's hers, because it very well could be. I wasn't paying attention enough.
Yeah.
It could very well be hers, but she could have also bought it to getting good with Adam Driver's character. You
Mhm.
never know.
Also, as we've seen with several movies this year, such as Alien Covenant, Okja, Free Fire, there's a lot of fucking John Denver music in this movie.
Yeah, right?
Which is great, because I love John Denver. And the scene where Channing Tatum's daughter sings Country Road is one of my favorite scenes in the entire year. And it might be my favorite scene in the movie. It was just a really great moment.
It's incredibly sweet.
Yeah.
You have this pageant being built up that Channing Tatum's daughter is in. And it's very Little Miss Sunshine, that she's unconventional girl, but she's trying to win because she just has this ambitious spirit in mind. And so you know the end of the movie is going to end with that classic cliche of the dad coming in last minute to see his daughter do something important.
Yeah.
But the way that the characters are written in this film, I didn't mind it at all.
Yeah.
Because they took that time to establish the love that she has for her father, even though their parents have some divorce problems. And it's really sweet.
Yeah.
And you love the way that Soderbergh directs Channing Tatum and puts him in shadow. And I just love the way that film is shot.
Whenever he gets laid off, he's like, let's do a heist. He's
Yeah.
like, fuck it. Why?
Yeah.
Why did he all of a sudden just want to do a heist on a NASCAR track?
I simultaneously liked and disliked that because I liked that he got into the movie
You just got
fast.
into it.
And I appreciated that as opposed to him figuring out there's this thing we could rob. But like at the same time, I do think that there could have been like one more scene that set it up.
Yeah, because he's just like, I made this. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't mind that because again, a lot of heist movies have so much of like the build-up going on. When really, whenever Channing Tatum tells Adam Driver cauliflower,
cauliflower.
it's already established
like,
within these
motherfucker.
characters that they have their own little like, let's do some fucked up shit.
And you know what I loved?
And I like the way that's
I
explained.
love the fact that they never really explain what sort of trouble Channing Tatum and Adam Driver got into when they were kids. Like they kind of hint at it. You know these characters so well from this movie that just imagining all the shit that they got into when they were teenagers is more entertaining than them actually saying.
Them talking about how Adam Driver lost his arm.
Yeah.
In
Lost
the
his
Iraq
hand.
War. Yeah, his hand, not arm.
It's also nice that like no insults to my friends here, but like this movie genuinely is smarter than us. And I liked that. I like that this is a movie that actually surprises me. That actually like
whenever you turn in the money.
Yeah, that
I
actually like caught me off
It's
guard
like,
at moments.
why-
And I didn't predict every single thing that was going to happen in this movie. I like this movie genuinely like had me interested in the sense of like, oh, what's going to happen next? And that's
Like
actually
the Earl dude.
that's
Yeah.
genuinely rare.
Whenever I said my favorite scenes, I have to change it to the riot scene in the prison. Good God.
Yeah.
The riot scene in the prison where they're talking about Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Is so
Have their
fucking
demands that
amazing.
they wrote on a napkin to
Yeah.
pseudo
They're
Larry
like-
David.
They're like, the book hasn't come out into that. They're like, bullshit. It's like, no. Like, I'm looking at it on the Wikipedia. I love how they're just
I
like.
just love that this
Yeah.
movie is surrounded by so many characters that are just
Yeah.
fucking idiots.
Yeah,
And you love it.
They're also just human. They don't know jack shit.
Yeah, these people feel like genuine people from
Yeah.
West Virginia.
Yeah, they timestamp it with like Game of Thrones and what was
Fast
the
and Furious.
Fast and the Furious.
This feels modern, but it doesn't feel like it's pushing references for the sake of references.
Yeah.
This does feel like legitimate Southern chicken fried America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The cinematography is just spot on.
Yeah.
And you find so much comedy out of a camera pan or the angle that a scene is placed in, or how it'll be focused. The focus will be on the people in the foreground, but then there's like this blur in the background that you have to pay attention to. This movie is just so whip smart.
Mm-hmm. Like that the lady at the
In the bank.
in the bank, yeah, with the
Yeah.
cake. That's really smart and well done.
So, if you scroll to the time code, welcome back to our non-spoiler thoughts on Logan Lucky and our scores out of 6 stars. Before we start, though, our friend Noah is not in the area, but he did see the movie, and he's giving it a 5 out of 6. He said it's one of his favorite movies of the year.
I missed, I think, the first 5 minutes. I was at work, and I kind of just jumped on in. And from the time that I started watching, I was sucked in by pretty much everything. I was incredibly impressed with the script. I think this is going to be a Dark Horse Oscar contender. And man, this is just a hell of a lot of fun. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't go out and see this in the theater. You're going to have a blast. 5.5 out of 6 stars.
It was so funny and entertaining, and each actor, I thought, brought something new to the movie, and it was just incredibly clever the way the whole heist was, established. And just the fact that each scene was like introducing something new and creative and interesting. It was simultaneously really, really funny, but it also had this great heart to it, and I just fell in love with all these characters. Daniel Craig gives Oscar-worthy performance. He's so funny in this movie. Channing Tatum gives best performance I've ever seen from him. I pretty much loved it. It's one of my favorite movies of the year, so I'm going to go 5 out of 6.
I love the movie. Like both of these guys said, it was the best movie I've seen of the summer. All the characters just interlocked so well together, and it was just fantastic. I give it 5.5 out of 6.
With an HK consensus of 5.25 out of 6, that's a really strong recommendation, so definitely
Do
go
not
see
miss
this movie.
this.
Yeah.
Definitely go see this with an audience, because you want to go see this with like a fun audience that's going to, pick up on all the references and laugh with you.
I don't really think you need to have a film nerd audience to this. I
No,
really
just
do
like-
think this is
yeah.
one of the crowd pleasers of the summer.
This and like Baby Driver are like the two like original movies that came out this summer that are just as entertaining, if not, I would say more so than the blockbusters, and I think
Oh,
both
yeah.
of them have some serious Oscar buzz behind them. So definitely check this movie out. We're all pretty much raving about it. If you like this video, please click the like button down below. Also make sure to subscribe to be the first to know whenever we have new content. We got Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also click that bell icon to be notified of whenever we have a new video. There's not really a lot coming out soon. I mean, Daniel is super pumped for Tulip Fever.
Fuck yeah! Christoph Waltz in a fancy looking like the dude from the bad guy from Pocahontas.
Yeah.
And Dane DeHaan with like his shitty like 1/8 mustache on either side. That shit looks ridiculous and hilarious.
Maybe we'll strap Steve into a chair and make him watch it.
I don't think.
We're just gonna ride this out until Oscar season starts with some shit that we're gonna get, like Suburbicon, and we're gonna get Yorgos Lanthimos, The Killing of a Sacred Deer, and
Yeah, we're gonna get Death Wish
with Bruce Willis
and AC/DC.
Fuck yeah! And Polaroid.